Welcome everyone, I'm Dale and this is Cinema Historia. An enemy destroyer, an officer's revenge, and a deadly Pacific Ocean. This week we're going back to 1958 for an American war film called Run Silent, Run Deep, starring Clark Gable and Burt Lancaster, and this is directed by Robert Wise. Our story this week begins in the Bungo Straits, near the coast of Japan, the year 1942. A World War II U.S. submarine has just been sunk by Japanese destroyer Akakaze. The commander and most of the crew survived. The Akakaze and its captain, nicknamed Bungo Pete, have now sunk 4 U.S. submarines in the Bungo Straits. U.S. Navy submarine officer Commander P.J. Richardson, played by Clark Gable, is determined to get even. He persuades the Navy board to give him a new submarine command, with the provision that his executive officer be someone who has just returned from active sea patrol. The new boat is the USS Nurka. Richardson's executive officer, Lieutenant Jim Bledsoe, played by Burt Lancaster, resents Richardson and the Navy leadership by denying him command of the Nurka. Jim is worried about the safety of his boat and his crew. However, Richardson begins rigorously drilling the crew on a rapid bow shot, one he wants accomplished in under 35 seconds. Firing at the bow of an approaching ship is considered an act of desperation due to the vessel's extremely narrow profile. Richardson bypasses one target, then takes on a Japanese destroyer with a bow shot, accomplished in 32 seconds. The crew figures out that Richardson is avoiding legitimate targets to enter the Bungo Straits undetected in direct violation of his mission orders. Encountering a large Japanese convoy, they blow up a cargo ship engaging Bungo Pete. They are attacked by aircraft that have been alerted and were waiting in ambush. They rapidly dive and barely survive depth charges. However, 3 of the crew are killed. Richardson suffers an incapacitating concussion. By sending up blankets, equipment, and the dead bodies, they convince the Japanese that the submarine has sunk, while Bledsoe assumes command. So, now under command, does Lieutenant Jim Bledsoe set a course to return home to Pearl Harbor, or, with the Japanese believing the Nurka has been sunk, does Bledsoe, with the help of Richardson, return to the Bungo Straits to fight the Akakaze? Sounds like trouble. Released March 27, 1958, our story is based on the 1955 best-selling novel of the same name, by United States Navy submarine officer and author Edward L. Beach Jr. During World War II, he participated in the Battle of Midway and 12 combat patrols, earning 10 decorations of gallantry, including the Navy Cross. A 100% rating from the film critic Rotten Tomatoes states, "Best movie I've ever watched as far as submarine warfare movies go, a classic war movie, and 2 iconic leading men go head-to-head in one of the best World War II Navy pictures ever made." And it's one of my favorites. That's why I wanted to do this post. I think you'll enjoy it as well. And our trivia question this week: did a soon-to-be star make their film debut in a small role in our film? Did a soon-to-be star make their film debut in a small role in our film? So, a little more history and the answer to our trivia question coming up next. For history this week, we're going to dive deeper into behind the scenes of this great war film. So, exterior shots of the Nurka at Pearl Harbor were actually the true-life sub USS Redfish at the U.S. Navy's San Diego base. The USS Redfish, a Baleo-class submarine, was the first class of the United States Navy to be named for the Redfish. She was launched January 27, 1944, sponsored by Miss Ruth Roper, and commissioned April 12, 1944, arriving for active duty at Pearl Harbor June 27th. Redfish successfully sunk several Japanese ships during World War II, including the newly built 18,500-ton Japanese aircraft carrier Unya, December 19, 1944, returning to Pearl Harbor July 23, 1945, and remained there until the end of the war. Redfish received a Presidential Unit Citation for extraordinary heroism in action during the First and Second War Patrols, against enemy Japanese surface units in the restricted waters of the Pacific. In the spring of 1954, fitted with a dummy rear fin, Redfish served as the surface-running version of the Nautilus. Yes, in the 1954 Walt Disney film, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. No, I haven't done that one yet, but I'm going to. Redfish was also seen in the TV series The Silent Service that ran from 1957 to 1958. In September 1957, with deck and armament modifications, she played the part of the fictional submarine USS Nurka in the 1958 motion picture Run Silent, Run Deep. Ship interiors were built at Hollywood Samuel Goldwyn Studios and outfitted with more than $500,000 worth of genuine submarine instrumentation provided by the Navy. Underwater sequences were filmed with miniatures at the Salton Sea, a large inland sea south of Palm Springs, California. Adding to the film's authenticity was the technical advice of former Navy Rear Admiral Rob Roy McGregor, a recipient of 3 Silver Stars for World War II combat. The emphasis on accuracy didn't stop with the film's source and advisor. Many in the filmmaking team made sure they had a first-hand knowledge of the claustrophobic, rigidly detailed life of a naval crewman by spending time aboard subs sailing out of San Diego. The film's authenticity was put to the test during its official screen debut. It premiered April 1st, 1958, aboard the submarine USS Perch, before the most demanding audience imaginable, a select crowd of Navy officers. Run Silent, Run Deep was ready for its bold voyage into what critics hail a convincing look at the terror-filled hours submarine crews spend in battle. Amazing. And the answer to our trivia question this week: did a soon-to-be star make their film debut in a small role in our film? Yes. American stand-up comedian and actor Don Rickles, known primarily for his insult comedy, yes, he was the king of the insult, made his film debut as Quartermaster First Class Ruby. Starting his career in the early 1950s, Don was a headline performer at Las Vegas, with other film roles such as Enter Laughing in 1967, and Kelly's Heroes in 1970, and from 1976 to 1978, starred in the NBC's CPO Sharky, and the TV variety series The Don Rickles Show from 1968 and 1972. A regular on the Dean Martin Celebrity Roast specials, Don was in the United States Navy from 1944 to 1946, ranked Seaman First Class. Isn't that wonderful? That's a great thing to do, to be in service and then be in a war movie. Pretty interesting. I'd like to give a big thank you to all my viewers and subscribers. Please click the link below if you'd like to watch this film in its entirety. Thanks for watching, everyone. We'll see you soon.